Hello, friends. It's Nomad Brad coming to you from my box truck. Wanted to say thank you to everyone for being live today. I do believe we are live. Let me know if you can hear me and see me on the live. Look at my glasses, they're all crooked sideways. I'm a mess. I'm a mess this Wednesday. So I do believe our internet connection will be a little bit better today. I did a speed test and the numbers look good. I know on the last live stream I watched it back and we had quite a bit of chop coming in. So I appreciate those who stuck with me and struggled through the buffering. But I'm getting a green light. Maybe. Oop, it just dropped to orange. It looks like I'm getting a green light on my speed. So let me know, guys, if you can see me, if you can hear me, if it's buttery smooth, and if you're experiencing lag or anything like that, just let me know. And I will keep an eye on the chat. Let's see who's in here today. We got Catherine. Catherine was in here. Super Dave. Super Dave's in here showing the love. I appreciate you, Super Dave. See who else we got. We got Michael Goodman hanging out. Charlie Pepin. Thank you to Super Dave and Charlie for being channel supporters, channel members. I appreciate you guys. Your contributions help me going. Also, Diana Saylor, she's also a channel member. I got 3 channel members in the chat today. I appreciate that. Super Dave, Charlie, and Diana hanging out. And we got Nomad King Gamer in the house. Nomad King Gamer is on his way to Las Vegas. And so we're going to see if we can find some good stealth camping spots for King tonight while we're doing the live stream and see what we can do for him. Let's see what's going on. John C says, Brad, your hair is looking good. John C must have seen my Mexico video. I went down to Mexico last week, got a little haircut, and super happy with it. She did an excellent job. She even used like a straight edge razor blade to come back and like trim the edges. Absolutely really good haircut. I've never had a haircut like with that much attention to detail, so I was super happy about it. Let's see what's going on. Diana says it's fantastic. King says all good. Charlie says it sounds good. John says no lag. Okay, cool. So I think the internet is in shape today. Just, working on that mobile data network, you just never quite know. And especially here in Yuma, for some reason, even though I'm just out in the open, I'm in the city, for some reason, the internet is a little spotty. So happy to hear that it's moving right along. Living, working outside box says howdy from Florida. How you doing, living, working outside box? Happy to see you got a box truck going there. I'm sure it's heating up quite nicely in Florida. Hey, Donald Frazier, how you doing? Happy to see you, man. CMH Bullet, haven't seen you in a while, my friend. Happy to see that CMH Bullet has made their return. CMH Bullet is requesting more audio, so we're going to give him some more audio. Let's try to bump these levels up and see if that makes a difference. All right, what else we got? Roberto Starr, hey Brad, I just bought a box truck from U-Haul this Friday. I will start my project. Do you have any recommendation or tips? Look at that. We got a new fresh box truck blood in the chat. He just got a box truck from U-Haul. Happy to hear it, Roberto. Happy to have you with us. There's a lot of tips and tricks. You should definitely look at some of the videos of the past from this build out. But the one thing I would say is definitely just try to plan out as much as you can. Try to plan in advance, plan where stuff is going to go. Because once you start building pieces and installing walls and cabinets and things, then it takes a lot longer to have to go back and make a change, or if you cut something wrong, to have to go back and change it. So the best thing I can say for you, Roberto, as you're starting a brand new build, is just try to do a lot of research and really plan it out well. Draw a diagram, take your measurements before you just start shooting screws. You know what I mean, my man? Have a solid game plan. Steve's in the house, another loyal channel member. I appreciate you, Steve. Haven't seen you in a little bit. Happy to have you back. Steve's on the live. Robert's on the live. Good evening, beautiful people. Love and light from Michigan. Yeah, Donald Frazier got my $6 haircut. I'm loving it. Loving it. Let's see what else is going on. Feminem has to leave, but will catch me later. John C, did you say mobile daddy network? No, mobile data network, but it might have sounded like daddy. Uh, Donald Frazier said my homeowner insurance went up to $2,000. It's sounding better for getting a box truck. I'll tell you what, it really, the way prices are rising on everything, box truck life just feels more affordable every day. So I agree with you, Donald. Diana Saylor says, I also saw the video. Thanks for sharing it. It didn't seem as bad as I'm told. Yeah, if you guys haven't been across the border into Mexico, you got to go see it with your own eyes. It's not that bad. It's not scary. There's plenty of folks over there, plenty of folks older than you and less capable than you over there hanging out, drinking margaritas, getting medications. It's totally fine. Go check it out. Roberto says, thanks a lot for sure. Gonna check out your videos. Yes, sir, Robert. You got a big road ahead of you, but I'm confident you can make it happen. Robert says, I was looking at a brand new E350 12-foot box for 42,000 brand new. Yeah, that's a pretty good price, you know, for brand new. 42K, not bad. Not bad. You know, having a new truck, obviously you have no mechanical worries, and so you can just kind of start from scratch. So I like that price for a brand new rig. That's not bad. Okay, so let's go ahead and get rocking and rolling today. I do want to mention really quick, I have a comment here from Catherine. She dropped right before the chat. She says, I'm curious if you've ever daytime stealth camped. I imagine it's easier. Do you know if it's a thing where some nomads keep an opposite schedule? And I've actually just mentioned that before, that if you have like a night shift job, if you sleep during the day and then you work at night, van life would be like easy. That would be like easy mode. That's almost a cheat code to this lifestyle, because you can park pretty much anywhere during the day and nobody's going to bother you. It's really only at nighttime that, you know, the residents in the neighborhood freak out if you're in residential, or that the cops start patrolling and knocking on doors. It really doesn't happen that much during the day unless you're just blatantly in a place you're not supposed to be. So it's kind of funny how it is that, like, parking during the day is all good, but the minute the night comes around, then all of a sudden everyone gets freaked out and they're like, whoa, what are you doing? You know, you can't be staying here at night. So it's kind of an interesting lesson in human psychology, how people are, you know, more disturbed about what you're doing at night, you know, while you're sleeping, which actually they should be less concerned, because if you're just sleeping in your van compared to it's daytime and you're out running around, you know, up to shenanigans, I mean, there's much less bad things that are going to happen at night. So it's kind of funny how people feel that way, but definitely if you were going to do daytime stealth camping, it's going to be the easiest possible. Absolutely the easiest. Miranda in the chat, she says, hey, just found you today through your San Diego videos, recommended on my feed. Thank you, Miranda. I appreciate you. I'm hoping to make it back to San Diego in a couple weeks, and so I will hopefully be making more San Diego videos. I love the sun and the beach and the ocean, so I am very much looking forward to getting back to San Diego. Robert Clymer mentions much cheaper than a Transit 250. Yeah, that's what's interesting. You know, you get a brand new 12-foot box truck, you know, with I think well, if it's a 350, I don't know, it might be a V8 engine, but either way, brand new box truck, 40 something thousand dollars. But if you were going to try to go buy a Transit, which is kind of less of a vehicle, you know, you're going to pay more. So it's kind of funny. These commercial trucks actually have sometimes some better values. Super Dave got the Temco crimper. Love to hear it. The Temco crimper is a really good solution for crimping your big battery cable. The hydraulic makes it super easy, and all the die sets that it comes with are just, they do a really good job. So I love the Temco crimper. Good job, Super Dave. Chillin' in DC. What's up, bro? You're a courageous dude. A strange kid in yeah, following a strange kid in Mexico. Yeah, Chillin' in DC commented that on my video. You know, he said I was pretty courageous for just following some kid around. But, you know, I've been to Mexico so many times that it doesn't bother me. I guess I'm used to it. But I could see where if you were uncertain, and then if you watch a bunch of like the news channel, especially you know, if you look back like in history during the Vietnam War, the Vietnamese actually would hide like bombs on children, and then they would tell the children to go up to the soldiers and like try to talk to them, and then they would detonate these bombs on the kids and blow everybody up. So back in the Vietnam War, the soldiers were actually very scared of children, and so they were in a really bad place where if they were just out somewhere and children came up to them, they would avoid the children, and in some situations they actually ended up shooting children that got too close to them because they were worried the children might have bombs strapped to them. So that is an insane story, absolutely true. A little bit of psychological warfare. So, going along that mindset, you could think if you're in Mexico and some kid wants you to follow him, that maybe he's leading you to a trap and then someone's going to ambush you or something. But that's definitely not where my mind went. So I was just cool with it. I'm a pretty good judge of character, and the kid had good vibes, and he didn't seem sketchy, and so I just went with it. And I'm here to talk about it today, so it all worked out. Hey, big thanks for Super Dave. Adventures with Super Dave gave me a $20 super chat. I appreciate that, Super Dave. He says thanks for being you. And yeah, I'm just trying to help you guys out and share the box truck knowledge. So here's what we're going to talk about today. I want to say thank you everybody that subscribed to the channel and shares the information. We did hit 20,000 subscribers literally, I think the same day after we had the last live last Wednesday. We hit 20,000, so that's a huge milestone. I feel super happy about it. 20 is a nice big fat number, and I'm happy, and I see the channel progressing and growing, and we're getting more videos, so hopefully that number just keeps rolling, and we can grow our reach more people, and bring in a little more revenue so Nomad Brad can do this a little more full time and not have to worry about trying to do other things to bring in money. So absolutely super grateful we hit 20K. I wanted to give you guys a little van status update. So I'm still having this transmission brake leak, and so I can't really travel right now. I ended up having to order another unit, and so this is like the third unit that I've had to order. The first two were like just online, like online part store, but they're all like generic Chinese units, and so they were leaky like right away. And then I have my mechanic in Texas rebuild one, and it still was leaking from the housing. And so now I finally found a guy on eBay that rebuilds the OEM units. So it's all the original parts. He just reconditions them, puts in new seals and gaskets and bearings. So I should have that unit next week. I'm very confident that will solve my problem. And if it works out, I should be on the road by the end of next week. So that's the goal. And initially I was planning to go up to Oregon, but I think I'm actually going to skip Oregon for now. I'm just going to go over to San Diego and start out there. I do have a few jobs in San Diego, some solar installs that I have committed to people on. So we'll be kicking it off with going to San Diego, doing some solar jobs, and doing some stealth camping and just seeing what happens. So super excited, looking forward to that. And just wanted to update you guys, let you know that's the plan. We're going to California. We're going to skip Oregon for now. Maybe we'll drift up there later in the summer. I'm not sure. So let's move on to the main content for today. We're going to talk about tips and tricks for maximum stealth camping. It's a big topic. A lot of people ask about it. And so if you guys have any questions along the way, drop them in the chat. I'll try to get to them. Additionally, as we go through this, I'm going to try to find some stealth camping spots for Nomad King as he is heading to Las Vegas. So kind of real time, we're going to pull it up and go through it together. And if you guys have a place that you are thinking of stealth camping and you want some assistance, maybe in your hometown or maybe in a location you're thinking about traveling, drop that in the chat and we'll go ahead and go through that, and we'll see together if we can find you a good spot to stealth camp. Thank you, Robert. Robert Clymer just sent me a $25 super chat. I appreciate you. Between you and Super Dave, we're already breaking 50 bucks today, and we're only 14 minutes in, so it's a good day. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys keeping the vibe high. Appreciate it. Josh LLC, the transmission gearing park will hold the truck, delete the parking brake. Yeah, I hear you, Josh. I hate the parking brake. It's a terrible design. The problem is it goes onto the end of the tail shaft of the transmission. It's an intermediary between the tail shaft and the drive line. So I can't just delete the parking brake. I would have to actually have like another device machined that has a 37 spline hub and a whole bunch of other stuff. So it's not possible. I just have to find the right unit. Dre has a question: how many knocks have you gotten before and after you wrapped your truck? I'm gonna go ahead and just answer that right now as I'm looking in the chat. Hello, Ellie. Just found my channel yesterday. I can learn a lot from your videos. Thank you, Ellie. You're gonna learn a lot today, I promise. Dre, so I have received in this box truck, Dre, I have actually received 2 knocks twice. Well, no, not this box truck. In this box truck, I've received 0 knocks, 0, none at all. In my last box truck, I got 2. The first knock that I got, I was parked in some residential in California. I think I was in Newport Beach, California, and it was my mistake. So what I did is there was this park, and one side of the park was all like business complex. And so I stayed in that parking lot overnight the night before. I was in the business complex, parked next to a roll-up door, no problems. The next night I came back and that parking lot for the business complex was all full. So I ended up parking on the opposite side of the same park, but the opposite side was against residential houses. And that was a huge mistake. I should have known better. A big rule on stealth camping: you never want to park directly in front of somebody's house, like a residence, because people are watching. If they see some big unknown vehicle roll up, they're going to start questioning it. This guy called the cops, and so they came and they knocked on my door and told me to move on. So that was the first time. And then the second time was in Texas. And I was going to tell this story tonight a little bit later, but I'll tell it now. And so the point of this story is, when somebody knocks on your van, I want to make sure you guys understand that you have the option of how you're going to respond to that. So when someone knocks on your door, you're not required to answer it. So a lot of times I think as van dwellers, you know, you feel like you're in the van and you're kind of being sneaky, and if someone knocks on the door, you feel like I've been busted. Or if it's a police officer knocking on the door, then you feel like, oh, I'm caught, I have to go answer it. But my argument would be, keep in mind, for the most part, nobody knows that you're inside your vehicle until you answer the door. And this is what I want to share with you guys. So this happened to me in Texas. I was parked downtown Austin, and I had parked in the same spot a couple different times. And a lot of times I would go out at night, go down to the creek, go down to the park, hang out. And so one night I was just hanging out in my van, and all of a sudden I saw flashing red and blue lights like inside my window. I had all my covers down, but I could just see the lights coming in. And then I saw a flashlight like shining in my window. So I knew obviously it was the police, and they knocked on the door, and I was just laying in bed, and you know, I just decided I wasn't going to do anything about it. So I just laid there. I think they knocked like once, and they just looked around. They shined in all the windows and kind of just spent a few minutes outside. And then they got in their car and they drove away. And there was no ticket. They didn't tow my vehicle. You know, I was just inside the car. And then when they left, I didn't do anything. I didn't move. I just stayed there and ended up sleeping there the rest of the night. And so the difference is, this happened pretty early in the evening. It wasn't fully dark yet. So it might have been like 7 or 7:30 in the evening. And so if this would have been the day before, at that exact time, 7:30 p.m., I was actually not even in my van. I was over at the river at Barton Springs. And so the point of this story is, no, like if I wasn't in my van, I wouldn't have known the cops knocked on the door, and the response would have been the same. It would have just been the cops outside, and then nobody answers, and then they just go away. So it's important just to keep in mind, you don't always have to answer. And I think in a lot of, you know, I think if a cop really is persistent and they want you out of there, they're going to continue to knock. they're probably going to say, hey, it's the police. Are you in there? You need to move. They're going to escalate it into some kind of verbal thing. But honestly, if you're in a spot and you get the knock, I would kind of recommend you just wait it out and don't do anything about it and just see what happens. Because it might be, if a cop gets a call, they're probably just obligated to go check on the vehicle. But if you don't respond, they might just move on. They might have other stuff to worry about. So that would be my kind of 2 cents on if you get the knock. First of all, don't panic. And second of all, just kind of wait and see what happens. And, best case scenario, they're just going to go away and it's not going to be a problem. So I definitely want, you guys to, just kind of think about it, about the way you approach it. Yeah, Robert in the comments says it could be someone seeing if anyone is in the van trying to steal it. Yeah, so I mean, maybe it's not a police officer, maybe it's a potential van burglar or something. So, if you get the knock, I would try to do your research. If there's a way that you can, peek outside without them seeing you, or, maybe just listen really closely and see if you hear a car running. That might be a sign it's a cop. If you hear the radio, or, there's kind of some clues you can go to, but if it's someone trying to like break into your car or steal it, they might knock, but they're probably going to be pretty quiet otherwise. They're not going to be making noise because they don't want anybody outside to see that they're trying to break into a van. So, that's just stuff to consider. Just, think about it before you respond. Yeah, I mean, if you have a dog barking, that would be hard to hide, but keep in mind too, people leave their dogs in their cars. So just because there's a dog inside barking, it doesn't necessarily mean there's a person in there. I had many, I traveled with a dog for 5 years and I left her in the van many times, at night when I was at a restaurant, at a bar, visiting friends in somebody's house. There was many nights she slept alone in the van. And so if a cop would have knocked any of those times, I mean, she might have barked and then that's it, right? So then the cop would just move on. So just something to think about. So the title of today's video was kind of tips and tricks for maximum stealth. And so the idea here is when we talk about stealth camping, the main benefit is the main features we're looking for is we want to be able to spend the night in our vehicle, any vehicle, doesn't matter what type of vehicle. We want to stay the night in our vehicle undetected, right? And the reason we want to do that is because that's just going to increase our chances of being left alone, being undisturbed, and being able to just kind of fly under the radar. It's always easiest to stay the night in a public place if other people are not aware of your activities and you're not just obviously living out of your vehicle. So a couple things I wanted to mention is just right off the bat when we're stealth camping, just kind of a disclaimer, you always want to respect the posted signage. So whenever you're looking for a spot, always look at signs first because that's where you could get a ticket or you could get towed. So look for no parking signs, look for time specific no parking. So like it might say no parking from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. They might want no parking during business hours, and that means you could park overnight. Or some of them, they might specifically not want people sleeping in their rig. So it might say no parking 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. Or it might say no parking Wednesdays from 9 a.m. to noon, which might indicate that they have like street cleaning or some type of services that come through. So the first disclaimer is always look at the signs. That'll just help you avoid tickets and avoid, any additional harassment. And then the next thing I like to say is me personally, and this is different for everybody, just kind of depending on your own risk tolerance. But for me, I like to ask for forgiveness rather than permission. And what I mean by that is I see a lot of people that post like in Facebook groups, like, is it okay to park here? Is it okay to park there? Can I park on this street? A lot of questions. And typically the way it works is if you go and ask, can I park here? More than often, the reply is going to be no, right? Versus if you just park there and there's no sign that doesn't say you can't park there, then technically you kind of have the right to park there. So I think it's better off to just assume you can park in a place unless unless there's a clearly posted no parking sign. So that's kind of the way I roll, and that's been working great for me. In all my 6 years of van life, I've only once ever got a parking ticket, and it's because I was parking in like a paid parking lot downtown Oregon, downtown Portland. Like, you know, the parking lot where you pay to park for like, 6 hours or something. And I ended up staying the night, and I got a ticket like the next morning. And that was private property on this, paid parking lot. And so I didn't even pay that ticket because it wasn't like an official government agency. They just wanted me to pay a ticket. I just threw it away. It didn't matter. But so I've never actually got like an official parking ticket from the government while doing van life. So as long as you watch for the signs, you should be pretty good. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is, as far as just kind of etiquette for getting into a van, a stealth camping parking spot. The first thing you want to do is pull in late. If you want to increase your chances of having a successful overnight, you want to pull in late and you want to leave early. And this is all flexible, of course. You don't have to arrive at, 1 a.m. and leave at 4 a.m. But just in general, you want to kind of arrive maybe as the sun goes down after it's dark, or if it's a business area after the business is kind of shut down. Arrive kind of late, and then usually I try to leave in the morning. So if I'm in front of a business that opens at 9 or 10, I usually try to leave at 9 or 8:30. And this leaving early is more of a self-preservation thing. So if you can get out of the area before the business people show up, then they're not going to see your vehicle and remember it. And then that kind of allows you to use that same spot again. So the idea again with stealth camping is you don't want to burn a spot. You don't want to overstay your welcome. You don't want to have tip people off to the fact that you're staying there, and then maybe they're going to be more keeping an eye on you, and then if you try to stay another night, then they're going to, maybe contact law enforcement, or they might just come hassle you about it. So I think for self-preservation, it's kind of good to just arrive late and stay and leave early. And then additionally, one thing you want to do is I try to have everything kind of pre-planned. So I look on my phone on Google Maps, and we're going to go over that here in just a minute, but look on your phone, pick out a spot where you think you're going to go. And then once you drive to that spot, basically be ready to just pull in, put it in park, shut the lights off, and then go straight in the back, pull the blinds, turn the lights off, whatever. Versus, don't be milling around. Don't be, hanging out in the front seat with your dome light on for 5 minutes while you're, shuffling around. Because anything you do that's just gonna, other people are gonna see you in your vehicle just moving around. It's gonna just increase suspicion. If you can get to your driver's seat, to your bed without going outside, then I think that's the best case. If you can just duck in through the back, then that's the easiest way to do it. But if you have to go outside, that's fine. Try to just go outside and get right in, but don't be like milling around. Don't fling your van doors open and be like rummaging through bags and stuff and just causing a scene, because that just kind of looks bad. And then everyone in the area that drives by, they're going to see, what's this guy doing? And it's going to just kind of raise flags. So just in general, we want to try to blend in and just keep things as seamless as possible. So try to just, once you park, black out the windows, hop in the back, and don't make a big deal out of it. And so now we're going to get into talking about finding spots. So we're going to flip over to Google Maps, and we're going to actually get a live look at some stealth camping. So let me hop over here, and here we are. And if you guys have questions, save them to the end. I see a couple popping up here, but I want to just get through this this little section here, and then I'll come back and answer questions. So I'll save like 10 minutes at the end to go through questions. Okay, so here we go. So we're going to take a live look right now at stealth camping. This is for Nomad King Gamer. He's going to Las Vegas this weekend for a concert, a music festival. And so this is where he's going to be staying at, Las Vegas Festival Grounds. And so he asked me if I would help show him some spots that would be good for stealth camping. And now Nomad King is in a car, So already it's going to be a lot easier for him to find spots because a car is way less conspicuous, or you could say it's way more inconspicuous than a van or a box truck. But nonetheless, we're going to look at some good spots. So this is just a live look. I haven't pre-planned this, so I just want to show you guys kind of the process that I go through when I'm looking for camping spots. So the first thing I do is I just put in the destination. So in this case, this is Las Vegas Festival Grounds. This is our destination. And now what we want to do is zoom out. And when we're talking about stealth camping outside of a music venue, then to me, I feel like you want to find a location that's pretty close. You don't have to go too far because it might be late at night. You might be tired. You might be a little in a little bit of an altered state. And so you don't want to drive for half an hour to go find a parking space. Additionally, King did mention because he's in a car, he's interested in some locations that are not commercial and industrial. Although we are going to look at those as well for everyone that's not in a car. So here's the first thing we're doing. We're zooming out a little bit. We want to be in the area. We want to be off the main highway, right? Like right here on the festival grounds, this 589, that's going to be noisy, a lot of traffic. So the first thing we want to look at is side streets. And because King Gamer said he's interested in maybe some residential, then the first thing I notice as we cruise down Sahara Avenue, by the way, guys, this is just north of on the Las Vegas Strip. This is Las Vegas Boulevard right here. Here's the Sahara. Here's Circus. So just for you guys, so you know where we're at, this is just the north end of the Las Vegas Strip. So again, we're going to go over here and look at residential. I can see this looks like apartment complexes. And so if we zoom in here, we can go down here and already you can see international apartments. So these are all apartment buildings. And if you look at this street, Linwood Street right here, right in between these apartments, you see all these cars parked up on the street. So odds are these are people that live in the apartment complexes. And these are probably second or third vehicles that they don't have slots allocated for. So these are probably all people that live in the complex, or friends and family and girlfriends and boyfriends of people who live in the complex. So right off the bat, I mean, here's a semi truck parked right here, but right off the bat, Nomad King Gamer, you could literally just park on this street right in this apartment complex. This is Linwood Street. There's another one right here, Van Patten Street, same situation. Cars parked all along the side. And keep in mind, this is a nice side street. You know, there's not even any traffic signals. There's no like lane designations on the road. So you can imagine that it's not very frequently traveled. There's probably not people going through here very fast. That should be a pretty easy spot to stealth camp just right off the bat. And when we look at the distance, I mean, you're talking about maybe a couple miles from the fairgrounds. So very close. That's a good way to find you know, kind of some, anytime you need residential or you need to find parking in a pinch, I always recommend parking on the street near apartment complexes because there will be a lot of vehicles parked there overnight. Now let's move up into the regular residential. And again, this is just kind of right up to the north side. And so when it comes to like houses and housing developments, you know, I always say don't park right in front of somebody's home, because they're going to be on the lookout, and if there's any strange vehicles, they're going to know, and they might call the police. So what we want to look for is we want to look for a lot, and this is going to be difficult because Vegas is pretty tight. All this residential is pretty tight, but we want to look for a lot, here we go, where you can park and you're not in front of somebody's house. So here's a perfect example right here. So if you see this lot, this corner lot, this is like a duplex. See how there's two different addresses, 1913, 1915. So you could park, it looks like this is their main entrance. So you could park like right back here where this car is at, because if you're parked here, you technically could be visiting this house back here, or you could be visiting one of these houses. And you're not like right up in front of the guy's house. So when you pull up and turn your headlights off, he's probably not going to see you out of his window. You know, you're not right up in his zone. He's not going to wonder, who is this guy? Versus like on this residential down here, like if you parked right here, you know, in front of this guy's house, he's going to feel a little bit more like, whoa, who is this guy, right? But if you're on the side of this guy's house, there's a tree here, there's other houses, that would be a pretty good spot where you could probably park up and not have any issues. And then kind of the same thing with over here on this 10th Street, like on the side up here. It's kind of hard to tell from Google Maps, but this looks like some kind of a big outdoor patio with a fence. And so if you can park along a fence on the street, that's also a pretty safe space because there's no house directly in front of you. And so the homeowner is not going to be worried about it. And anybody that sees you is going to just assume that you're visiting one of these other houses. And I've done this in my box truck. So stealth camping in residential in a box truck is still possible. Try to find a spot like this where you're kind of up against a fence and you're not right in front of somebody's house. So already we got 2 spots there just within 5 miles of Las Vegas festival grounds. Let's check the notes. Here's a comment from CCH. She says, I drive Uber and sometimes need to sleep an hour away from home. I use black poster board to cut window size and windshield cover. Large hotel lots are fantastic. Yes. That's something else I wanted to mention. Make sure you black out your windows. Last time I talked to King, he did not have any kind of window coverings. So it's really a good idea, even for your safety, because if someone's just walking by, they might look in your window and see you in there, and then that's kind of awkward. So even if you just get poster board from Home Depot or some fabric or something, you really should have window covering, something you can put up at night. So now let's go ahead and continue and see what else we can find. We found an apartment complex. We found a spot in residential. I'm just looking at the map. I see right here there's a Planet Fitness. So let's zoom in on this. And so I like, this actually might be a good spot. Let's check it out. So I like business complexes like this. So let's look. What I want to see is a business complex like this with a lot of 24-hour services. So let's check Planet Fitness. Oftentimes they are 24 hours. Yeah, they're open 24 hours. So that means there's going to be cars in and out of this Planet Fitness 24/7, especially in Vegas, because people are working all kinds of different hours. Let's check out the laundromat. Okay, the laundromat closes at 7, so that's not all hours. The pawn shop, what do we got for the pawn shop? They close at 7. Here's a 7-Eleven. That's 24 hours. Okay, so I like this spot because we have, within this one parking lot, we have a 7-Eleven and we have a Planet Fitness, right? A gym. Those are both 24 hours. So if this were me, I would park like probably right here in this area. And the reason being is you're about halfway between 7-Eleven and Planet Fitness. Okay, so nobody's going to know where you're at. You could be either spot. And 7-Eleven's not going to be thinking, man, this guy's been parked in front of my building all night. And the same with Planet Fitness. They're not going to be looking, saying, hey, this car's been right up front all night. I can see him inside on his phone. What's going on? So if you're out here, you're in no man's land, you're between 2 businesses, that's a pretty good place to park. Another great thing is if you have a Planet Fitness membership like I do, now you have 24-hour access to the bathroom. If you need to get up and use the restroom, you can. If you want to get up first thing and hit the gym or take a shower, then that's also a great option. So this looks like a really good spot to me. The other reason I like business complexes like this as opposed to the city street is because police officers, they don't really have the same jurisdiction when it comes to private property. Okay, this is privately held land owned by the owner of this complex. So the only time police can really harass you is if they're just straight up suspecting you of a crime. Like if they see you with a gun or, a gun out or beating somebody, they can come apprehend you. But otherwise, unless like the owner of the property calls them and complains, they really can't heckle you for being in your car in the parking lot. So for you, Nomad King, I think this Planet Fitness parking lot is absolutely another good idea. So that's now 3 awesome stealth camping spots we just found, within just a few miles of the festival grounds. So that looks pretty good. Now let's see. I want to try to get, and this is a place I would be comfortable parking in a bigger vehicle too, like a box truck or a shuttle bus or something like that. Um, okay, so 3802 says because you're in a box truck, are there more places to take advantage of because of the commercial look of your vehicle? Yes, so that's what we're going to talk about now. I already gave 3 killer spots to Nomad King: apartment, residential, and that Planet Fitness parking lot. Those all look really good. I don't think he'll have any trouble with those. And keep in mind, that was just 3 quick spots we found on the fly. So once you get up there, Nomad, if you're looking for more spots, all you got to do is just look at more residential. Just copy what I did tonight. Look for more residential or apartments in your area. Look for Planet Fitnesses, and you'll find a lot of other options. Okay, so now we're going to talk about bigger vehicles, box trucks, shuttle buses, and where we could do something like that. So when you have those type of rigs, your best option is to be in a commercial area. And fortunately, Las Vegas has a ton of commercial. So we're just going to kind of see what's going on. First thing we'll do is kind of zoom out so we can just kind of see. Now the commercial, the easy way to spot commercial, it's going to be the big white rooftops. So all the commercials usually have flat roofs and they're all painted with white. So like all these squares, this is all commercial. This is all commercial. Oh, Counts Customs. I remember that. That guy. That's old Danny Coker. He does some pretty cool stuff. So let's see. Let's just kind of zoom in and see what we got. I like to, if we can, park by automotive related services. Twofold. The main reason is a lot of times it's pretty common to outside of an automotive shop that there's going to be client vehicles. So there's going to be random vehicles that might be there to have mechanic work done or to get looked at, and so they're going to be used to having all kinds of just random vehicles kind of staying there. So right away I see look at this: pro van conversion, camper, and auto parts. That's interesting. So that's kind of this shop right here. Let's see what we got for some parking. So I like this right here. Check this out. So this Capella Avenue, if we zoom in on this, I like as we go down here, it's like a little cul-de-sac. Here's Jay's Auto Service. So there's an auto mechanic in the area. It looks like this is all maybe like auto service buildings. So I don't know if they allow street parking. I don't see any vehicles on the street. So usually I want to see at least a couple vehicles already there. I don't want to park in a spot where it's like uncommon. And that's something else that I have for the notes is you don't want to be the only vehicle that's parked wherever you're parked at. You want to blend in. You want there to be other vehicles so that, if someone's just driving by, you don't stand out. But I saw a video from, what's his name? Techno Barbarian. He's a box truck builder, and he did a bunch of stealth camping videos a while ago, and he parked in like a shopping center parking lot, and there were no other cars in the parking lot, and he actually had a tow truck pull up and hook up to him and try to tow him away, and then he hopped out and said, hey, no, I'm in here, don't tow me. And so they told him he had to leave, but the mistake he made is he was the only vehicle in the parking lot. So if you're the only vehicle around, there's a good chance you probably shouldn't be there. Okay, so we want to find some commercial stuff. So what I'm going to do is just type in mechanic and see if we can find kind of the automotive part of town. Let's see what we got. Let's zoom in here. Oscar's Auto Repair. Las Vegas Auto Repair. Okay, cool. So look at this. So now we'll kind of scroll down here. Now this is looking better. Here we go. So this Wriggle Avenue, look at all those trailers parked on the street. I think this must be some kind of a business. It almost looks like food trucks. Those might be food trucks. But anyway, you can see there's a big trailer here, a semi-truck here. There's some kind of box truck, a bunch of trailers. Here's some cars. So you could definitely park anywhere on this street. anywhere down here. That all looks pretty good. So this Wriggle Avenue looks awesome. Here's a bunch more auto stuff. Boomerang Auto Shop, that's going to be fine. Down here on Sirius Avenue, again, look, here's a box truck right here. A couple cars. So you could park anywhere along Sirius Avenue, no issues at all. And let's see what else we got as we scroll by. We just want to try to look for like a side street with cars in it. Here's another one, Sheridan Street. Okay, so look at this. As we cruise through Sheridan, you can see there's some cars parked on the side. Like this would be a good spot to park here because you're right up against like a legitimate curb on the street side. But look how many cars are just scattered around here. I mean, you're going to blend right in. Nobody's going to look twice at you. There's so many cars in here. You could park anywhere here, no problem. And this is something where you could probably even stay a couple days in the exact same spot without even relocating, and no one's even going to question it. So this is a really good street, the Sheridan Street. I mean, that's absolutely packed out. So no issues with that at all. That'd be a good spot to park any type of van, commercial vehicle. There's just so much stuff. Look at this. This is a cool one here. Okay, look at this. Famillion Drive. So what's cool about this is a legitimate dead end. So this is going to be a really quiet place to park because there's nowhere to go. So people aren't using this as a through street. So you could come in and just park on the side by this fence. It's probably going to be quiet. It's almost like an extended driveway. It's pretty tucked away. So this right here, Famillion Drive, that's a really good option for somebody that wants a quiet space. Guys, we're just knocking it dead tonight. Just back to back shops. All right, I'm going to check the questions, see if you guys have any questions. I feel like I've just been hitting home runs here. Tell me what questions you have about this. Charlie Pepin says HVAC distributor centers, absolutely. Any kind of distribution centers, Amazon warehouse, FedEx, USPS, any of that kind of stuff, no problem. Where do you hide a school bus in DFW? All right, John Chavez, I got you, bro. I got you. We're going to look at hiding a school bus in Dallas, Fort Worth. RV dealerships. Convert at the Home Depot parking lot. Yeah, John, I have seen people do work at Home Depot. You probably don't want to stay there long term, but you absolutely can do it. Let's go to Dallas, Fort Worth. Now, Dallas and Fort Worth are two separate areas. They're like side by side. So when you ask, tell me, John Chavez, do you have any specific area in DFW? That's a pretty big part of town. Do you have any specific area you're interested in? Let me know and I'll try to find it. But let's just see. This is a challenge. Where can we hide a school bus in Dallas, Fort Worth? So let's hop into Fort Worth. And so let's do this. I'm just going to try to make it easy. Let's say, where would you see, so if you think about where would you see this vehicle in the wild, where would you see a school bus? You would see a school bus by a school, but we don't want to park by a school. That's a little weird. We want to park by a diesel mechanic. So let's just search for a diesel mechanic in Fort Worth. And that's something that's going to be not too much of a surprise. Wow, I'm surprised there's not more actually downtown Fort Worth. Okay, let's see what we got. Here's one, D&O Diesel Repair. Let's check it out. Let's zoom in. Okay, cool. So this looks pretty good. So here's a diesel repair shop. Now, there's a couple of ways to look at this. Remind me of your name, John. John, there's a couple of ways to look at this, John. As far as stealth camping goes, there's like one is like I'm just trying to stay the night and I want just an easy in and out. And then the other option is I'm looking to like stay a little more long term. Hold on, let me put this window covering down. That sun is killing me. Okay, here we go. All right, so if you're just looking for Hey, there's Zane. What's up, Zane? Where would you park in Ambo? That's a good question, Zane. I'll hit you up with some info on that. Remind me, where is Zane at? Was Zane in San Antonio? Remind me, Zane, what area are you in? Okay, Dallas Fort Worth. So if you want to just stay the night and you're in a bus, you could absolutely park outside of any diesel repair shop, because most people that see you parked outside of a diesel repair shop, they're just automatically going to assume you're there for diesel work. So you could park on the street here. Now, keep in mind, you want to kind of leave, if you can. You don't want to probably park right in front, so maybe down the street. So maybe like down here, this is Bryan Avenue. So maybe if you can find a spot down here like this looks pretty good. In Texas, there's a lot of these just kind of dirt little side spaces you could park in. So as long as this isn't some kind of a sliding gate that opens, you could totally park a school bus right here, no problem. You could come down. Texas is pretty lenient on their parking. You could come over to Stewart Drive, the next street over, and I'm looking up here. There's a couple of big trailers, a truck and a trailer. So as long as you're not blocking anybody. But like if we look up here, right here, there's a pretty big stretch of road where there's nobody, there's no business or house. So you could probably park right there. Coming down to this grassy area, you could probably, oh, look, there's a street view. Let's check that out. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Look. So you could park right here in front of this shrubbery. You could go park right here in front of this fence, as long as you're not blocking the access here and the access here. This is a church, so I think in front of a church is a pretty good spot. That would be a good place to go. I like that. Let's go back to the map. How do we go back to the map? That's kind of cool. I like the street view. Let's go back. See what else we got. All right. Where do we park a school bus? Let's see what other options we got. Diesel mechanic. We're in DFW. Here's a good option, fleet repair. Let's see how this looks. Okay, that's somebody's house. Somebody's fixing diesels out of their house, so that's no good. We don't want that. Let's see what else we got. How about this? Classic diesel mechanic. Okay, so this looks good. Check this out. So here's a big classic diesel mechanic. Big ass parking lot. So depending how bold you are with your school bus, you could pull in. Man, it's a little bit of a gamble, but you could pull in and park. Like, you could try to hide in the corner of their lot. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but check this out. So they're on Conway Street. It looks like Conway Street turns into a dead end. It just kind of turns into this little junk lot. So I would park my bus right here. 100%. I think that would be perfect. Do I have a street view option? Let's check this out. Yeah, look at this. So there's your fleet mechanic. Let's go down a little bit. Down a little bit. Yeah, look at that. What's this? Yep. So I think you could just park on the street here. This is something where obviously you wouldn't want to stay here for a long time. You just be in the people's way maybe during the day, but like overnight, no problem. No problem parking here. It's a dead end street. It's going to be quiet. Nobody's coming down here. You could even come down here if you wanted to. There's just a little fence here. So yeah, you could even come down and park. I don't know that I'd park on the grass. Maybe, depending how soft it is. But yeah, you could park right here on the side. So that looks pretty good to me. Conway Street in Fort Worth. See what else we got. Rodriguez Brothers. Yeah, as far as a bus, you're going to have a little more of a challenge. Especially like long term. Like if you're going to be long term stealth camping in a city, you're gonna have to be moving that thing all the time, and you're just gonna have to come to terms with the fact that people are gonna have a pretty good idea. Let's see. Okay, John says right in the middle near Cypress Waters in Irving. Austin. Zane's in Austin. Oh, Zane and Austin. I have all the answers for you, bro. I got a lot of good spots for you in Austin. I'll share that with you in a minute. Really quick, let me see if I can help out John near Cypress in Irving. Actually, you know what's funny, John? I bought this box truck that I'm in right now. I bought it in Irving, Texas. That's where it came from. So it's kind of cool. Crawley Motors. Shout out Crawley Motors in Irving, Texas. And you're right. That is basically smack dab in the middle. So he says Irving, and then he says Cypress Waters. Is that a... I don't know what that is. Let's see. Is that a street? Oh, yeah, it is. Look at that. Cypress Waters. Okay, let's check it out. Oh, dude, this is pretty good. So this is like... this is big commercial stuff. Big commercial stuff. Okay. Let's see what we got going on here. The furniture outlet, Home Depot, business park. I do like business parks. A school bus, though. That's going to be kind of out of place at a business park. I wonder if they can park on the road street here. So what I would look at is... I would look at... So there's people down here on Bend Drive doing street parking. Like this looks pretty good out here. This looks pretty good out here. Let's see if we can do a street view of this. Let's drop our little man. Okay. Yeah, so I mean this would be fine. What does this sign say? Can we read this? There's a parking sign. That's the main thing is you just gotta look at the signs. I don't think I can read that. No stopping. Oh, no stopping, no standing, no parking. Okay, so that... See how helpful that is, though? You can just hop on Google Maps and you can read the street sign. So that's no good. You can't park there. Let's hop back out and see what else we got. And that's why I say, guys, you don't want to be the only vehicle parked up. If there's nobody else parking there, there's probably a good reason for that. This is all residential. Boston's Ranch. Discount Tire. I do like parking in commercial or in mechanic shops, but I don't know that I would pull a school bus in there. School bus is just more of a challenge because of the size of it. Let's see what else we got. So there's Cypress Waters. This looks like more no parking. It looks like they're pretty tight on their no... Oh, there's like a little lake there. Yeah. It looks like they're pretty tight on their parking. What do we got up here? What do we got here? Okay. Okay. So, I kind of like this. Okay, this is like a business complex. Look at this. Check this out. So, right here at the back of this business complex, look, we got an RV, we got a dump truck, we got some other random vehicles. This is B's Auto Repair, right? And then over here, there's all kinds of vehicles just lined up on the side of the street. There's like a big dump truck here. So this looks like a really good spot. Now, what I like about these business complexes is there's multiple businesses that share a single parking lot. So nobody really knows if you're there for one business or another business. Nobody knows who you are or why you're there, and they're not really keeping that close of attention. So I think this would be a great spot to park a bus. Just make sure you're not like blocking anybody. But you could try backing it into one of these slots here. You could try backing it into one of these double slots. Because again, if this is a commercial or this is a parking complex, that means these lots are probably not specific to any one business. So those would be great. You could probably maybe park along the fence here, but this looks really good. And look, it's quiet. You're pretty far off the main road. You know, this is back at the end of like a commercial area. So this looks really good to me. In case you want to look it up, just look for B's Auto Repair on Google, and you can find that spot. So that looks pretty good. See if we can find one more thing. Look at this. This looks a little bit private, though. That almost looks like a construction. This looks kind of nice. Okay, so I like this. So check this out. This is Olympus Boulevard. And so again, this is a bunch of commercial. There's a whole bunch of businesses in this building. It's a big like industrial parkway. But if you look closely, down here, it looks like they have on both sides of the road. See how the road gets wider? They have like parking spots built into the side of the road here where it's actually wider. So I think if you went and parked here, so there's a big fancy, oh, these are houses? Oh, that's an old photo. I didn't see those houses in that picture. Hold on, that's no good. You don't want to be right in front of townhomes. Wow, look at that. Those townhomes don't even exist in this photo. So this is obviously an old Google Maps image because now it's townhouses. So that's no good. Let's see. Bummer. That was looking like a really good spot, but clearly that's not what we want. Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. But you guys can see how using that little guy to do a 3D map of the area is super helpful. Super helpful. Let's see what we got. North Lake, Golf Club. We got to be in commercial. What's this? Okay, here we go. Here's a bunch more commercial stuff. So now we're in commercial. All you want to look for is a spot where there's trucks. Look at right there. There's a semi-truck. This is Senlac Drive. Semi-truck, another semi-truck. There's a tractor trailer without a trailer on it. Semi-truck. So here you go. Senlac Drive. Look at all those trucks. Anywhere here, you'd be fine to park. Obviously, they park on the streets. So there you go, buddy. That's a couple different spots for you. But overall, hopefully that just kind of helps give you an idea of how to find good spots. All right, so moving on, let's hop over. I want to help out Zach. I hope he's still here. I'm sorry, Zane. Sorry, Zane. I want to help out Zane. I spent a couple months a couple years in Austin. And so I'll show you guys the spots I found. And I'm giving up these spots because I have no plans to return to Austin, Texas. I enjoyed it, but there's just, when you can travel and live wherever you want, there's a lot better places to be. So let's pull up Austin, Texas. This is for you, Zane. Okay, so let's go Barton Springs. And I actually just talked to a couple friends, old friends from Austin that are currently stealth camping in a shuttle bus in Austin, Texas. They're loving it. Okay, so here we go. Here we go. So Barton Springs, let's see. Where are we? Here's the volleyball court. Okay, here we go. Okay, Zane. So the first spot is this is called Zilker Park. I'm sure you know about Zilker. It's a huge freaking park down there. This parking lot right here, as you can see, look at all the rigs here. There's 2 school buses, an RV, another school bus. Like, look at all these vans. Look how crazy it is. So I stayed here. I stayed here for almost a month when I first went to Austin 2 years ago. And it was super easy. So you can stay right here in this park. And at night, you'll see a bunch of other van lifers coming in. It just depends how the cops police it. I never had any issues. So you can stay right on the end of Zilker Park, right under the bridge. And so if you look for the Paradise, Botanical Gates of Paradise, then that'll be a clue as to where the main entrance is. So that's a great spot to park the Ambo. Now another great spot you can park where I've stayed many nights is up here. Let me get my bearings. And the great thing about this park, guys, is what I would do is I would stay over here at night, and then I would walk over to Barton Springs right here, which is a natural ground-fed spring. So it's like super clean, clear, pristine spring water. It's absolutely beautiful. Take a look at this. Look at this water, guys. That's exactly what it looks like. It's clean, it's clear. It's full of natural fish and turtles, and it's just a super beautiful spot to hang out. So if you stay at Zilker Park in your van, you get to walk down and enjoy this during the day. And when it's hot out in the summer, there are so many people hanging out and enjoying it, and it's a really good vibe. So this upper parking lot at Barton Springs, let's see, right here. This parking lot right here, I have spent the night many nights right in this spot, right exactly where my mouse is at. So this is the upper parking lot by the disc golf course. So you can park right there for free overnight. And then on the other side of the water, the other side of Barton Springs, where was I here? Here we go. The other side of the springs, this parking lot right here is also free at night. And actually, there's a guy named Don that lives in a school bus. And Don parks in this parking lot at night. And he's a local guy. He's been doing it for years. So you can park your rig in this parking lot right here, next to the baseball field, next to right field. This parking lot right here, you can stay there overnight. And then I'll show you guys also some stuff that's not in Zilker Park. So right down here off of Toomey Road, you can stay in this parking lot, and I've stayed there also multiple nights overnight. So you can stay there overnight, no problem. And you'll know these spots are safe because as it gets dark, like once 7, 8 o'clock rolls around, you'll see all the vans start rolling in. So you'll see transits and pro masters coming in, getting a spot. So once you see like a bunch of other van lifers roll in, then you know like, okay, this is a spot. This is where people stay. So this field right here at Weber Field, this is a great spot to park. And what's cool about this spot is, you know, again, the creek is right here, so you can walk down over there during the day and kind of hang out, do whatever. And it's right across the street from, what's the name of this place? Cafe de Luz, which is like a wellness place. They have like a restaurant and a coffee shop and a bathroom, so you can literally walk right across the street from this parking lot and you can go have a bathroom or whatever service you need. Pretty easy access. So those are all pretty good spots to stay in Austin. Let's take a peek at the chat. See what's going on. Zane, I walked that parking lot this week. Yeah, buddy, that's it, man. Those are pretty much the spots that I stayed at. Let me see, you know, let's just see what else we can do in Austin. I know Zane does a lot of like downtown DJ stuff, so he's probably 6th. I bet he's by 6th Street, which is a little dicey. It's a little dicey, but let's see what we can find. Let's see what we can find in the area. Let's see, 6th Street. Is this? Yeah, the Rustic Tap. Yeah. Buford's, Wild Bar. Okay, cool. So, now we're downtown. We're in the thick of it. We're in the mix. And we're trying to figure out where we can stay the night. Zane's in an ambulance. He wants to be close to the action, but he doesn't want to have to go too far away. Let's see what we can do. And again, this is something where you're going to want to look at the signs and just see what's allowed. But in this case, you're probably going to want to be off of the main street. So like right away, I notice on 4th, oh, there's a bunch of bars here, but there's a bunch of cars parked up. But you don't want to be right on the street like that because you don't want a bunch of weirdos messing with your stuff. So you want to you're going to have to get away a little bit from that. Let's see what we got over here. So what you might need to do, Zane, is you might need to like, after your shift, you might need to like move your vehicle, or what you might do is you might park for the night and then take like a scooter, like a Bird scooter or an Uber over to the spot where you're actually working at. But so this looks pretty chill already. So this is like big commercial, This looks a lot cleaner. Look at this right down here. There's like some kind of a junk, like a scrapyard on 47th. So this is kind of more of an industrial. There's a big semi truck here, a big semi truck here, a dump truck. So this is going to be perfect. And honestly, if this is a scrapyard, they probably have decent security, and hopefully, you know, no one would really mess with your rig, especially if they got other stuff parked outside. So I would try to park here on 47th Street, or maybe you pull through into Medina Street. They got a big rig parked there. You know, try to park here somewhere, or you can come through and you can park on the backside. Look at this. How about parking right here? This looks pretty good. So this is kind of nice. You know, you're just parked up against this big metal fence. I mean, there's a Tesla parked right here, so it can't be that bad of a neighborhood. There's a van, a cargo van right here. This little red, oh, it's gone now. How funny. This little red, like Chevy Express. There's a parking meter, so you'll just want to mind the signs, but usually after, you know, usually in the evening, those parking meters are free. So I think this would be a good spot to park. Even though you're across from residential, these guys are going to be used to a bunch of people parking here because obviously this is kind of a spot. So I think that'd be a good spot to park. That looks pretty good. And then as we scroll down, it's just kind of more of the same. Look at this right here. Another kind of some kind of junk lot. And there's like a truck here, a van here, a truck here. So I would also park maybe right here. This looks like a pretty good spot where you could just hang out. Let's see what we got. Yep. Yeah, you can park right here. Look at that. Just mind, of course, look for the signage. But yeah, you can park right where that blue truck's at. You can park right down here. Look at this guy. He's got his shirt in his window. He's probably taking a nap inside. Pay to park 8 a.m. to, I can't read it. 8 a.m. to something, but it's probably free at night. Yeah, look at all that commercial parking. There's a big box truck parked up, so this would be fine for you too. So lots of options in Austin. Any big city, you know, stealth camping is going to be pretty easy. So let's talk back in the chat, see how everybody's doing, see what's going on. I had no idea you could sleep there, though. That's amazing. Yeah, Zane, you can. You can sleep there. Let's see what we got going on. John Chavez, wow, there are spots like that in Austin. They really embracing the free lifestyle. Yeah, Austin was pretty open to it. It was pretty easy to van life there. Oh yeah, no, I'd be scared to park on 6th. Yeah, exactly. So just, Zane, if you're working in that area, dude, just, you know, zoom out and look for some industrial, some commercial that's a little ways off. And, you know, when you're rolling through looking for a parking spot, just read the area. You know, if you see a bunch of sketchy dudes pushing shopping carts, you probably want to keep moving. But if you see like Teslas parked up and SUVs, and if it's obvious that there's people there that are like parking to go to the bars, then you're probably going to be fine. You know, your rig's not going to stand out, especially when there's, you know, $100,000 Teslas and stuff. So you'd be totally fine. Super Dave says, take an e-bike to your rig. That's a great point. Last Lines says, know any places more north near Cedar Park and the Round Rock area? Chris Fox, very close to restaurants. I'm not sure about north. How do you store equipment in a van? Buddy's Game Room. Explain that question to me. What do you mean by storing equipment in a van? Let's see. Last Lines says, any places north Cedar Park or Round Rock? Let's take a look at Cedar Park, Round Rock and see what's going on. Oh, I'll share something with you guys. So something else that I like to do, actually. So we're in Cedar Park, Round Rock. If you're going to come in early or come in late and leave early, or if it's during the weekend, I like to stay in business complexes. Oh, DJ equipment. Oh yeah, that's a good question for Zane. I have no idea how he stores DJ equipment in a van, but Zane is a DJ, so he would have a good answer for that. I like to stay in dental offices. And so, like, check this out right here. Town Center Dental. This is in Cedar Park. Look at this. This one shopping complex. You got dental, you got a barbecue joint, and you got a Kava Mediterranean restaurant. So I'm not a big fan of this one because it's pretty exposed. You can't really get a good like stealthy spot. Let's see what else we have for dental. How about this? How about this one? Okay, so this one looks good. So I like this one. Okay, cool. So check this out. So this is dental. Now, if you look at the location, you're far away from any main road, main highway. And so my thought process in this is like there's not going to be cops cruising by looking for van lifers. They're going to have to really be going out of their way to actually come by here. And even if a police officer does drive by on this street, if you park in the back here, like look at this white car. If you're parked where that white car's at, nobody's going to see you. No, like absolutely nobody is going to see you. So I think this would be a great spot in Cedar Park to camp up for the night, right in the back of this complex. It's part of a church, Kingdom Christian Church. There's a massage therapy. Again, when you're in a commercial area like this, nobody knows why you're there or who you're visiting, and nobody has like authority over it. No one's going to feel like, why are you in my parking spot? Because the parking lot doesn't belong to any one person. So you should be pretty safe in just in camping up there overnight. Shouldn't be a problem. Let's see what else we got. We're still in Cedar Park. All kinds of dental offices. And the thing I like too is dental offices are usually closed on the weekend. So if you want a spot to stay like long term, you could stay for like a whole day in a dental office parking lot, or even a couple days. Like you could pull in Friday night at 8 o'clock, and then you wouldn't have to necessarily roll out until like Sunday if you can get a good spot that's tucked away and there's not other businesses there that are going to be checking on you. I was going to try to see if I could find one to give you an example. Sometimes you'll find ones. So something like this would probably be pretty good because we have the dental, we have a health company. They're probably closed on the weekend. We have this barrier and company. They might be, yeah, they're an accountant. They're going to be closed on the weekend. So when you find an office complex like this, if you can get a spot that's away from the main road, you probably be fine. Like if you parked like over here somewhere, if most of these businesses are closed on the weekend and you parked like over here, you could probably stay there for the weekend and nobody would really bother you, especially if you're in like a box truck or something that looks commercial. So lots of places in Cedar Park, guys. Zane, I'm up in Cedar Park. I remember Brad saying parked in the rail yard on Whitestone the night before he worked on my rig. Yeah, I did. I did stay by the rail. Let me see if I can find the spot that I stayed at when I was visiting Zane. It was by a railroad. I could see the trains out of my window. Oops. Let's go Cedar Park. Okay, here's Whitestone. Here's Whitestone. Okay. And then let me type in dentist again. I think it was a dentist office. I always just use dentist. It's easy. Castle Dental. Yeah, it was this place. It was this place right here. This is where I stayed the night. Sweet. Okay, so I stayed here off Whitestone. I pulled in and I parked right in this exact parking lot where this silver car is. And if you go back to one of my YouTube videos, I think it's the one where I say all my stuff is packed in this van. Anyway, I'm parked in this exact parking lot. And what I liked about it is as you pull in, there are like all this parking space was empty. There was one transit van in the corner, and then over here there was a dentist office right here, kids dental, and then there was like a bridal shop. So it was all closed down, but then there was a bar like down here somewhere. So there was like a couple cars in the parking lot, but I stayed right here in my box truck overnight and I had no issues. And there's the trains right there. So Zane, if you're looking for a spot near home, I stayed right there in that parking lot, had no troubles. No troubles at all, my man. Hey Zane, I hope you're able to get help on your rig, man. I saw that guy in Bastrop, Texas. I know it's a little far from you, but I saw that he said he does conversions. So I hope maybe he can help you out. I'd hate to see you give up on your dream, man. You know, hopefully you can get some money saved up and find someone to fix it. Because I hope you can get this thing done and keep moving forward. I'd hate to see you sell it if it's something you really enjoy. I think it'd be cool for your lifestyle, be able to have a little mobile studio, VJ studio, and travel to your gigs and kind of do that kind of stuff. So anyway, all right, guys, any more questions for me? It's 7:21. We've been going for over an hour. I'm about to wrap it up. I'm getting tired. I've been talking a lot. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat right now. I'll try to answer them. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap it up. Let me know. So I hope that helped you guys out for tonight. I tried to drop a lot of knowledge. I feel like from what I could see in the chat, it definitely helped out a few folks. I know that Nomad King was looking for some spots. He got helped out. I know John Chavez was looking for some spots. He got helped out. You know, he liked that church parking lot. And so what I would suggest is what you guys do is what I did: pull up Google Maps, look ahead of time, try to find a spot if you can. You know, drop a pin and then look from the first person perspective just to kind of see what it looks like. But as you guys can see, I pulled out like a dozen different spots just randomly, just on my first time from, you know, the computer. So I can do it. You guys can do it. I would encourage you guys to practice it. And hopefully you guys will find success finding your own stealth camping parking spots. Appreciate you guys. I will see you next Wednesday. I'm doing a live stream every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific. Hopefully next Wednesday we're getting close to heading to California. And yes, King, smash that like button. I appreciate you guys. And I will see you next week on the live. Nomad Brad signing out.